I like to imagine that there are three kinds of people wanting to pick up Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PC. First, there are those wanting to push the capabilities of their insanely powerful gaming rigs. Second, there are those that miss Spidey due to his previous PlayStation exclusivity. And third, people like me that just want to swing through New York City on a handheld because they can. And I am happy to report that out of the box, Spider-Man on Steam Deck is an absolute menace. It works, it looks good, it feels good to play. I think the biggest compliment I can give Spider-Man on Deck is that I would easily forget I was playing on relatively less powerful hardware and just get absorbed into the game the way I would were it anywhere else. And for such a massive game where scale and speed are paramount to the experience, this is a colossal achievement. If you want to play Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on Steam Deck, I don't think there is any issue large enough to really deter you from that purchase. Now, do I have some nitpicks? Sure. First, the R1 button on Steam Deck. For me, it feels kind of weird. So pressing it really quickly to execute web thwips wasn't the best experience, but I ameliorated this by mapping the button to the R4 button on the back of the deck, which I preferred. Your mileage on this may vary, and it could just be commentary on how my specific hands fall on the Steam Deck. Next, I'll add that I think the deck occasionally struggles in excessively bright and excessively dark scenes. Sometimes I felt a little too enveloped in white light or total darkness, and I think the lack of an OLED display on deck is showing a little bit here. In terms of performance, in my experience playing, sure, I would occasionally notice a micro stutter here or there. It was never enough that it hampered my experience playing the game, especially since I think Steam Deck players have set their expectations going in, and the stutters were somewhere between pretty and extremely infrequent and random enough that I was never anticipating the issue. Visually, you may notice some jagged edges, some blurriness, but again, none of that really stops the game from being one of the most impressive things you can probably see on a handheld today. Visual issues rarely impacted my playing of the game outside of really looking for them, and in a game where awareness and the need to notice small indicators is critical, playing on the deck is a totally viable option and didn't really hinder me. And of course, given that this is still a PC game, there are settings to go in and customize to attempt to perfectly tune your experience, but I was really perfectly happy with what was happening by default. With the brightness pretty much topped out, I was able to play Spider-Man on Steam Deck for an hour and 10 seconds before the battery told me to stop, which I think is pretty good. So yeah, is the ideal setting for Spider-Man Remastered on PC probably found by switching between a high-powered rig and then, I don't know, collecting backpacks or doing side quests on the deck? Maybe, but if you can float around near an outlet and want to experience this PlayStation hit on a handheld, the Steam Deck is the way to do so. And with that, we are going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to see a more in-depth review of Spider-Man Remastered for PC, we have that available on the channel right now. So keep a lookout for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man on the channel, and for everything else in games, you're already in the right place. So just let us explain. I am Jake, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.